It is a joy for me to have none other than Laura Zug with us, a people first community strategist whose clients have described her soulful, connection driven approach as the oxygen that breathed life, and I can attest, into their communities. She has a lifelong passion for empowering and elevating others, where her clients find clarity thanks to her goal oriented planning, practical guidance, and problem solving skills. Laura's also a wife, friend, mom of two. In her free time, Laura loves morning coffee. I'm still drinking mine, Laura. Pilates, cuddling with her Cavapoo, hiking North Carolina mountains, doing all the things. She's out here. In this talk sponsored by Uscreen, Laura will be chatting with us about the power in collaborative partnership. All you.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for that introduction. Vicki, it's lovely to be here and so fun to be learning all of these amazing things. So, um, I just want to put everyone at ease. You can turn off your AI note takers and you can relax. You're here literally in my living room, and I hope you have your coffee or whatever else makes you cozy and comfortable because I told Vicki earlier this morning that this is a combo fireside chat meets old school um, show and tell. So I have three things to show you today. I have a friend, and I think a lot of you might recognize her, and I'm going to have to beg for forgiveness after this. I have a book, which we'll get into, and I have a trend to talk about. Um, let's talk about a friend. Some of you may know that I had a very long break in my career. I am what Adrian Spire has like miraculously dubbed the accidental community manager. I had a background in PR and marketing, advertising, and then met my husband in business school. And after we got married, we had our kids. And our second son had a pretty complex medical disorder. For over a decade, he was tube fed, and I was not working outside of this very kitchen. So when I went back as the accidental community manager, I also started a consulting practice on the side, and it just took off, and I loved it. I love what I do. I love our industry. But I was having a conversation with Shauna James and said to her, you know, Shauna, I'm really kind of struggling as a mom. I had a career before, and then I was a mom, and now bringing it all together is hard. And she connected me with Jenny Weigel. And Jenny and I had a very lovely 30-minute coffee chat, and we eventually traded our cell phone numbers, and we would trade messages back and forth. But what I want to tell you is the inflection point in our friendship was the moment when, again, I was having a hard time. And this time I was weighing a decision. And the decision, I knew there was context that I didn't necessarily have. And I was kind of floundering. It wasn't something that my spouse or a friend could really understand. So I just went out on a limb and I left Jenny a voice memo, and I said, this may be kind of going too far, but I kind of went into it. And that moment really transformed our friendship to now we trade voice memos back and forth all the time. That photo I showed you, we were like, I don't know, is it some crazy Halloween house? But I want to encourage you to find your informal network. I'm just going to read this quote. There's a book by Michelle King called How Work Works. And she says, informal networks are your career lifeline. And we are all community people. You no doubt already know that. But maybe you didn't know this, that 80% of jobs are filled through your informal networks. So I would just say invest in your informal connections, in that informal network. If you want a living, breathing masterclass in that, just follow Max Pete. I don't know how he has time for all he does. He's messaged me already today. Love that guy. And then secondly, lead with vulnerability. What really took my friendship with Jenny to the next level was when I got out there and I was really honest with what was going on. And instead of trying to have a polite coffee chat and sort of surface level back and forth, I let her know what was going on. And I probably would never have even met Jenny had I not also shared with Shauna that it was difficult and I was struggling. So if you can, push the fear aside and be real and transparent and give people a chance, it really can shake things up and give you friendships that you depend on. Okay, so that is all great, but that doesn't really tell you how to scale your community. For that part, I want to tell you another story about my partnership with Bree Lever. She's supposed to be on the stage here with us today. She's in a camper van with some friends in Hawaii. But Francisco originally reached out to the two of us and asked us to come here today and share the story of how we formed the Community Accelerator, which is a small cohort based group, I guess, that Bree and I are co-leading with some incredible founders. But what this required was, and this is where this book comes in, we've all heard about having an abundance mindset. And I too believe in an abundance mindset and embracing possibility. But we all have been gifted through evolution with a scarcity brain. And it is in our nature and our neuro wiring to see people as competition or to retreat into fear or flight or fight. And what I want to posit today is that doing the opposite is actually going to be what accelerates not only your own journey, but your community as well. So Bree and we would definitely be what are described as competitors. But I realized that it was a little bit silly that Bree and Jenny and Tatiana and Joel and all of these really talented community consultants were each creating content and trying to build our businesses and our brands. So I thought, well, we could maybe collaborate. It would make it a lot more fun, it would make it easier, and the result would be better. So Joel and I collaborated with a bunch of different community pros and put together swipe copy for a community manager job description. That's one example. And then Bree and I worked on a checklist to help people migrate a community from a social media platform like Facebook into an all-in-one platform. What was originally going to be one email and a checklist, because we were working together and we had the synergy of two brains, our checklist became a workshop. And then the workshop has totally transformed how either one of us have done business in the past few months. So for that, I think it's really valuable to think about possibility. See if there's a way that you can tame the scarcity brain, which this is an incredible book, by the way. Tame your scarcity brain and figure out who might you embrace as a partner, who might be somewhat adjacent in your space that could actually help you have more fun on the journey and create something better. But I'll also say that Bree and I collaborated, and it was great. And I really appreciate all that we were able to do together. But it really wasn't, it would not have been possible to be where we are without the support of Mortiza and Heartbeat Chat, which is an all in one platform. The workshop that I alluded to, we hosted inside Heartbeat's community called The Hearth. And that obviously gave us access to the members of that community. And then Mortiza graciously sent out an email announcing our accelerator, the community accelerator program. And just yesterday, I was talking to members. We're talking about strategic partnerships in the accelerator right now. And I asked them, I said, how did you decide to join? And some of them were definitely one on one connections I had, or they had been following me on LinkedIn. But the largest pool of our members came through that strategic partnership, and they came from Mortiza and Heartbeat advocating for us and sharing information about our accelerator with their audience. So this leads to what I believe we are going to see more and more of, and what I really hope we see going into 2024 and even beyond. I'm pulling my trend photo here. I think that we are going to start to see some cross-pollination. And what I mean by that is we're going to start to see platforms helping creators and especially micro community founders gain traction and build their audience. It is really, really difficult. I see it all the time with my clients that they build incredible small communities where their members are getting results. We have a clear member journey, but the role of the founder then transforms into essentially trying to build a marketing machine to keep their business afloat. And I believe it is causing a lot of burnout for community founders, and it makes it hard for small communities to stay afloat. I loved what George said earlier this morning about micropayments. And I think that fits into this trend perfectly. And I'm also really curious to hear what Ed is going to say this afternoon about, I believe he's talking about like synchronicity among communities. We'll have to see. Tune in. But what kind of got me thinking about this trend was opening up my email one day and seeing a banner across the top of ConvertKit announcing a partnership between ConvertKit, or an integration between ConvertKit and Mighty Networks. Now, I believe that Nathan Barry and Gina Bianchini are some astute entrepreneurs. And so it caused me to get curious. What is this about? What's going on? And it led me down this rabbit hole of research to I started investigating platforms like Substack, which clearly ConvertKit's creator profile is a similar model. And I started noticing that Substack is attracting a lot more subscribers, of course, but that they've also rolled out some community features like notes and chat. And they're even recommending to people who have a Substack to offer in their paid tier to add in either a Slack group or a Discord channel. And I just started to really get curious about this trend and think, what are the community platforms that we know now? What tools and cross-pollination might we see heading into 2024 and beyond? What will micropayments make possible, for example? I really want to help people find these incredible communities, and I really selfishly want to help my clients not be overwhelmed with trying to create enough noise in our busy world to find their small niche members. So, okay, I'm going to summarize for you today with 3 words. I think you can take into your remainder of this year, hopefully to bring more joy. Um, Vulnerability with my story with Jenny, and I thank goodness she's in Los Angeles. She can't get me for showing you that picture. Um, Possibility, allowing your brain to settle down and think about what could be possible by embracing those around you whom you may currently be thinking of as competitors. And the bumblebee. Where will you start to see cross pollination? How can you make it happen without a tool? I frequently introduce one client to another because I find so much synergy between the audiences of my clients. So think about those 3 things and how they might help you take your community to another level, make some friends along the way, and have fun. So, hello, Vicki, you're back.
I'm back. Hi, Laura. I do have
Hi,
2
cheers, everyone.
cheers. I do have questions for you, but I first have to say, 1, Jenny's here.
Oh gosh,
I love it. And
Jenny, I'm
2,
so sorry.
and a few of us were sharing that we just love your voice, soothing, smooth jazz, regulating our nervous systems. So I just had to tell you that you give that out. On to logistics. So question is, what's one thing community professionals can do to increase their reach or influence?
Oh, this is so hard. I was talking about it yesterday with our accelerators. Um, I can share if someone wants, whoever asked the question, if you reach out to me on LinkedIn, I can share a content flywheel because I think one of the easiest things to do is take what's happening inside your community as that is your voice of customer. It's essentially gold that you can then repurpose for your external audience. Your community members are telling you their fears, their challenges, their perspective, their insights. It allows you then to take that knowledge and create content for your external audience where someone reading or listening or hearing that thinks, how did she know my problem? She's read my mind. I don't know how they knew this, and that is the perfect solution for me. So we talked yesterday about building this flywheel with 4. I keep doing this like a wheel, but using what's happening in your community to inform and propel what you're doing for your external audience, and then weaving back in what you're doing for your external audience to help create the content for inside your community. So it's just a little way to save you from some burnout.
We would all like to be saved from that, I am sure. Laura, thank you so much for this chat in your lovely home. Also, there was commentary around being at the fireplace, relaxing with hot chocolate. So you really just set the vibe, and thank you.
Y'all, I
The
wish you were
vibe is for
here.
collaboration.
Vicki, come play Rummy Cube, and we'll get
I'm gonna play
Taylor.
Rubik's Cube at the house. I love it. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank
And
you.
see you in the interwebs.